So with the foot bath, the salts are going to be very relaxing for the muscles. It helps heal like bruises and stuff a lot faster. So I like to do a scrub first, then let them soak in it. Some people just pop it right in there with the running water. It's nice to have a foam, so I usually do the rosemary mint by itself to have the foam, but we don't have it. We have an antibacterial soap, which I did not want to use on her feet. So I usually do have it kind of foamed up. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of get started. And like I said, just bear with me for moving stuff around.
Kelly's very extra. She knows all the little details as to how to make it nice.
Yeah.
So
I'm on.
Question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
Susan, when we go in to help the the clinic, are we also going to be doing a foot bath, or are they just going to go straight to the facial?
They should be doing a foot bath.
Are we letting them practice the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever y'all come in for your facials in 2 weeks, you'll be getting the whole thing. Yes.
Okay. Susan, I forgot to ask
her.
Ooh,
look at us, friends.
My hands, or do you want gloves on?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just asked her because as long as you have washed your hands and stuff, you're good to use your hands. As long as you have nails, you shouldn't have nails, right? You know, long nails.
Yes.
But obviously, once I touch her feet, I'm gonna wash my hands again. Don't ever go straight from that to, or like a foot ritual and then go straight to the face. Yeah, gross.
Yeah.
All right, Susan, we're gonna start our consultation with a foot bath. Go ahead and put your feet on in and let me know how the temperature feels. Does that feel okay?
Yeah, that's great.
Perfect. So with Aveda, we like to have a whole body approach, and we use what's known as our elemental nature, which I'm sure you've heard of, earth, air, fire, water, that type of stuff. It is an old Ayurvedic type of way of healing the whole body. And so we will be discussing everything from the head to your feet, and also just internally some stuff as well. Maybe some stuff that you eat, and then I might recommend some stuff to help you with your skin internally as well.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix the salt with the soap. I'm gonna take it all out into my hand. Well, actually, I'm gonna just take half of it, sorry. All right, so I'm gonna lift her foot and I start scrubbing. Make sure that you're the one taking it so that they're not having to feel like they're holding their foot up the whole time.
And so you could tell them to relax your foot, I got you.
Exactly, she's doing very good. Make sure to get that heel. That's where a lot of us get nice. Her feet are nice though, so. So I'm just gonna rinse it off. That way she's soaking with the salt. And then I'm gonna get the rest of it. All right, Susan, so have you ever had a facial before?
No, I have not.
All right, well, I love getting newbies. Perfect. So, why don't you go ahead and tell me what's bringing you in today?
I've been concerned with some dark spots that have been popping up around my skin,
Okay.
Around my cheekbones, as well as just kind of wanting some anti-aging. I feel like I'm prone, or I'm going to have fine lines and wrinkles. So just getting ahead of that. I'm typically kind of dry too, even throughout the summer I feel a little dry.
A little bit more dry, okay. So what you're telling me has to do with one of our doshas called Vata, which is going to be our infinity air. And so that air is going to really show us that we're dry. And so really what we want to focus on today is exfoliation and hydration. And then also what you can kind of do internally is you could do more like warm foods, like roasted asparagus or squash, more of that kind of like salty flavors as well to help balance internally as well.
Nice.
So kind of tell me from your head down, do you have any tension anywhere, starting at your scalp, or any dryness?
Sometimes a little dryness on my scalp.
A little dryness.
Happening.
Does it get itchy at all?
Lately, yeah.
Lately it has.
There's something weird going on there.
Yeah, so sometimes when we get really dry, like it starts to kind of itch. We do have a great scalp remedies product that you could use that has some salicylic acid in it to help with that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and go to your face. So anything starting from the forehead area?
Not too much. I do get a little bit dry, and I'm always worried about these 11s right
The
here.
11s, yeah, the fun ones.
Yes, exactly.
And then kind of getting into the eye area, anything kind of
Not too much around eye. I would
Okay.
like, little, prevention for any fine lines and wrinkles
Okay.
happening there.
Okay, so anti-aging. So again, this facial that I'm thinking about is going to be great for that. And then how about, so the cheeks, you mentioned you had a few dark spots.
Yeah, I've got kind of some hyperpigmentation on the top of my cheekbone,
Okay.
and then I've got some more coming up on my
And then how about around the mouth or the chin area?
Mostly okay.
Okay.
If I have a breakout, it seems to happen around the chin or like lips sometimes, like
Okay.
little ones, but not much else.
So that's typically like hormonal area. So is it usually around that time of the month?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Kind of getting into your neck and shoulder area and décolleté. Any tension in your shoulders?
Yeah, I actually woke up. I must have slept wrong. There's
Uh-oh.
a massive, tight tension happening right along this left shoulder.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll try to work that a little bit. And then your décolleté area, anything there?
Not much. I'm just always trying to take care of it, make sure not much is happening.
Okay, perfect. And then how about with your arms? Any tension or dark spots or anything?
No, they're pretty good. I've actually got some dry patches.
Some dry
but
patches.
otherwise Good.
Pretty good. And then kind of going down your back area, the rest of your back, anything there?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Mhm.
Any tension, low back or anything?
Around the shoulders, but not lower
Just the
back.
shoulders?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we can definitely address that. And then with your legs, anything going on there?
No, they're all pretty good.
No dryness or
Mm-mm.
tension? And then the feet, how are the feet feeling?
Good.
Good?
Flat shoes.
Yes, perfect. Wonderful. Okay, so like I said, we're probably going to do our dry facial. Go ahead and take your foot out. And right now I'm just going to dry her foot. And then she has her slippers here, so I'm going to put her foot into the slipper. Or, sandal, whatever. Try to be aware that you're not making them spread their legs.
Show everything.
Don't want them to feel uncomfortable. Sometimes I might even put a towel there if it's really hard for them not to. Go ahead and take your other foot out. And then I'm going to grab the other sandal just because you don't really want them walking around barefoot too much. That's just my own personal opinion. Otherwise you have to clean that area, right? So I'm just going to move this off to the side. And again, making sure it looks still nice and neat, okay? All right, Susan, I'm going to go ahead and leave the room. You're going to get underneath. Sorry, I'm pointing. Let me go ahead and grab you guys.
Yeah.
You're going to get underneath here. Make sure that your face up. Thank you. Make sure that your face up underneath the blanket here. And then get comfortable, and I'll be right back in a minute.
Awesome. Sounds good.
All right, guys, so I'm going to let her do that. So I'm going to ask her how she's feeling. Are you nice and comfortable, Susan?
Yeah.
How's the bolster? Is it under your knees okay?
Yeah. It's perfect.
Perfect. And so I'm just going to make sure that she's completely covered. When you pull down, make sure her boobs don't pop out. And then I'm just going to kind of tidy up and make sure that she's nice and comfortable. All right, Susan, you can go ahead and take your mask off. And then you can just kind of tuck it into the bed with them. Like when I've got a massage, I kind of, if I'm on my stomach, I put it on my chest. I think I might be able to actually sit down. She's not allowed to talk. No, I'm standing, for sure. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and wash my hands again. I like them to hear me wash my hands so that they understand that after I touch their feet that I'm washing my hands after. Just try to have it, these things are kind of noisy, but try to have it as quiet as possible. And then I personally just keep a towel off to the side. I know some people like to have a towel hanging. I just know there's a lot of people who kind of complained about people, it felt like they were touching their hair or something, so. All right, so I just want to come in. Go ahead and relax, I got you. Bring up her head wrap. All right, Susan, I'm going to start with what's known as our aroma sensory journey. Maybe. Hold on. So people have been shaking these because I can't get anything out. Remember, I'm putting them on some 2x2s, you guys, so that they can smell them. So I have my 3 different aromas. I have my nurture, I have my nourish, and my renew. So these are the aromas that we use for our dry facial. And also, we can mix them in for like anti-aging stuff. Oh my goodness, yep, someone has definitely been shaking these. That's why you don't shake them. They're taking way too long to get out. Oh, that one's good. All right. All right, so we're gonna start with our aromasensory journey. When I place my finger here, you're gonna take a deep diaphragmatic breath in, and after the third aroma, you're gonna let me know which one's your favorite. Alright, which one's your favorite? Number 1. So she chose Nurture. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them to my products that I have. So I'm going to put 2 drops into my composition oil. And again, unfortunately, this is going to take a minute.
Guys, so the bottle, she can show you real quick. The bottle actually has a full ingredient list on it, which you don't want. There's like another one that has the short, actually what's in it, like the 3 main scents. So you can always turn that over and read it to them. Like you picked, you know, Nurture that has this and this scent in it. So the little bottles will actually kind of have those 3 main ones for you to go back on.
Yeah, so if you see here, of course it says fragrance. And it has sunflower oil. That's going to be kind of a little bit of a carrier oil, but it has rosemary and
so right.
I think it just says, oh, where is it?
Not have it anymore?
Yeah, I was like, I don't see it. Yeah, no, it's just the whole list.
Oh, right there.
Oh,
You
thank
see
you.
rose,
Yes.
jasmine. It makes it, yeah, so you don't, like, it's right underneath the ingredient list, guys.
Yeah, so here's the ingredient list, and then under here. Thank you,
Yeah,
Susan.
so
See, I
it gives
didn't
you the
even-
little notes. Yeah.
So yeah, so this one, so I would tell her I'm going to put this into the products, and that it has sandalwood, it has olibanum and vanilla, and this is going to enhance her facial, not only bringing that aroma in, but Nurture is also going to be really good for dry and anti-aging. And so I'm going to put a couple drops into, sorry guys, I'm a little claustrophobic, so I might be taking deep breaths. That composition oil, I'm going to put 1 drop of aroma into the cleanser, and I'm going to put 1 drop of aroma into the light composition oil. Now normally you wouldn't have the full facial yet. You would wait until after skin analysis with your instructor, and even then I would wait to grab everything. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in now though. Alright, so again, don't forget to close those bottles, you guys. Alright, so I'm going to just get some more warm water. Just set that up. Normally I would have done this beforehand, just like right before. Oh, there's feedback from the other class if you can hear it. So I'm just going to get my pre-moistened 2x2s ready. Alright, so now I'm going to go in and take my composition oil, mix it in with that aroma, put a little bit on my wrist. Alright, Susan, take 3 deep breaths in. And this is what I'm going to go ahead and cover her hair. Again, I'm watching if they have earrings in, that you're not squishing them to their face as much as possible. But make it tight, right? A little taut, so it's not going to fall off. And then just make sure that their ears are comfortable. Does that feel okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't talk, Susan. I'm just joking. It's so hard, you guys, to try to get used to this type of thing instead of normal stuff. Alright, so now I'm going to go into my forehead compressions. Keeping in contact the whole time, do a nice little stretch. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just asking because she mentioned her shoulder, right, or her neck was a little funky, so. Alright. Now we're getting into our purification. So I'm going to grab one of my 2x2s. And I'm going to put my little bit of oil on. We're going to pretend I'm doing this because I don't have my oil bottle with me. Go ahead and look up towards me, Susan. She doesn't have any mascara on anyways. Close. So I'm going to put my oil on here. She likes to squint her eyes together. Do you wear contacts or anything? No. Sometimes if people wear contacts, they're a little bit more sensitive on their eye area. So I would go ahead and do that, go over the lid, get those brows, throw that away. Normally their lashes will actually stay above this. She squinted her eye so much that it just went right above it. But it's okay. If that happened and they had mascara, you would just try to make sure to get the mascara off from underneath. Alright, so then I would get a little bit of oil again on this side, look up towards me. And remember, if they have a lot of mascara on, you could set both, put the oil 2x2 on top so it's sitting there for a little bit to help dissolve that makeup. But otherwise you could just go ahead and get on in there to remove. And then you would get off anything from the lid and the brows. Fold that over and remove. And then remember, you would take pre-moistened 2x2 just to get any excess oils and makeup off. Make sure to get underneath. Now some people, she's again with her eye area, I can see that she's just more that she notices it. I'm trying very hard to be gentle and to come in nice and gentle for her. But some people are just going to be a little twitchy in some areas a little bit more than others. Alright, onto the lip. So I would get a little bit of oil on. Come around, see how I was touching her head and then I came over. Remember to go in. Oh, she's got some dry lips. Definitely going to be putting some good lip stuff on at the end. I'm so bummed I don't have the oil. I'm so sorry. I knew I was forgetting something. Bad Kelly. And then a pre-moistened 2x2. Again, it could be dry. It doesn't have to be wet, but I already wet them, so that's kind of what I do. And then you're going to put over their lips. Pet their lips a little bit to get any excess off. And then remove. Alright, so after that we're going to go into our pre-cleanse. So I'm just going to dip my hand. Well, first actually I'm going to make sure her décolleté is nice and exposed. I'm going to dip my hand in that water. Remember, you don't want it dripping on them. And I'm just going to effleurage it on, working my way up. I can feel she has a good moisturizer on. I'm going to do about half of that oil. Starting at the décolleté, again, effleuraging it. Work around that nose, don't forget the tip of that nose. And remember, at this point, you could do the cleansing manipulations if they have a lot of makeup on to really kind of help dissolve that makeup, but she doesn't, so we're just effleuraging it on. Now I'm going to take my cleanser and mix the aroma in. I like to just put it all onto my hands. And remember, keeping in contact. Then I'm going to start swiping. It's all about just getting the product up. And then I move my hand up. Come back down. Dip my hand in the water. Just kind of swipe across. And then we're going to start our cleansing manipulations. So I'm just going to do it how I normally would. A little pressure there, great for TMJ. Back and forth on the brows. Put a little pressure on the brows. You could do the figure eights, right? Alright, I'm going to get my hot towel. Remember, always do this away from them so you're not splattering any water, hot water on them. I go ahead and bring it around. I'm going to put a little bit of that aroma infused oil on my wrist. Check my forearm. How's that feel, Susan? Perfect. Do my home alones and vogues. And you guys, I'm lunging or squatting, whatever I can to make sure that I have good ergonomics. Do a little bit of massage. And then remove.
This is where you would tone, which I forgot to do.
Alright, so I'm just going to turn on my steamer now. This is when we would go and get your instructor to do a skin analysis, okay? So, I'm going to go ahead. Now, just so y'all know, I barbicided these units, so I can grab them in between. That way I can try to get you guys a little closer view. What I'll probably do is I'll bring you guys first, and then I'll bring the recorded one as well. So I'm just going to get a couple of cotton rounds wet. I'm going to cover her eyes and kind of establishing that contact. Oh my goodness, this might be a little cool. Letting her know if it's going to be at a different temperature. And I like to kind of tuck in here, right where the nose is. Alright. So I'm just going to turn on my mag lamp, my dermoscope. I always turn it on away from them. And here's the thing, you guys. So you can see right here, there's a little knob. Make sure you loosen it before moving this up or down. Remember I was telling you that can strip it and make it so it doesn't stay. Luckily, I think this is a new one, so that's awesome. All right, I'm going to put a bright light over you, Susan. All right. All right. So, I do see some freckling, some hyperpigmentation, kind of throughout her whole face. Not bad, just more so the small freckles. She has like a couple little like white heads. So she's got some congestion, so she's got some blackheads, right? The open comedones. She does have some distilled capillaries around the nose, which is typical for a lot of people, especially in that area just because we blow our nose or whatever it can break them to. So if she was interested in extractions, I would have to be incredibly careful there, and I would only do like away from the broken capillaries, because you can break them further. So even with the facial today, the dry facial, because the main focus is exfoliation, with the refiner, which you'll see has the ground up bamboo in it, I'm going to be like super gentle in this area. I'm going to probably use a little oil to soften it. Up here is okay, it's just the sides here, okay? And she's got like a little milia spot right here. And of course just the freckling, and then she does have a tiny bit, like a tiny little pustule that's inflamed. He's a little mad. So same thing with that refiner. I'm going to be careful in those areas so that I don't spread that bacteria, right?
Right there is that new one. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it is.
It is a little raised.
Yeah. It was red when it started. It has browned out a bit. So I'm thinking hyperpigmentation, but it's a little different than the others.
Yeah. So this was the spot she was talking about. I'm just getting a little closer. It does look like it has like a drier border. So again, I would let her know I'm not a dermatologist, but I would suggest seeing a dermatologist if it's something that you're worried about, just because the dryness is a little, different than the rest of your freckling. So yeah, I would tell her just to see someone just to be on the safe side, but I'm not going to freak her out and be like, yeah, no, that looks like cancer, right? You can't do that.
But does it?
No, I don't think so. But the thing is that I know like drier areas can also kind of be a sign, so I just want you to, be safe and just see a dermatologist. She does have some broken capillaries around her lip area. And you guys, I'm actually like stretching her skin, like not like crazy, but so I can really see underneath. That's how you're gonna see some blackheads. I see a little bit of blackheads, but she definitely has some broken distilled capillaries around just her whole mouth area. And a little bit of a deeper pore. What's up, Brittany? Oh, okay.
Sorry, I was moving mine.
Oh, okay. And then a little bit of a deeper pore over here. Little whitehead or milia over there. So Susan, tell me what you use at home for your skincare. Sorry.
Where to begin? So I cleanse at night really well with a cleansing balm and cleanser, and then at night I usually use some kind of salicylic acid, and then I use, depending on the night, I might use a more active essence, or I just put on a deeper moisturizer, hydrating moisturizer. In the morning, I rinse my face off, do a probiotic toner, vitamin C, or an antioxidant, one or the other for the day, and then moisturizer and sunscreen, which I brought my own sunscreen. So
Oh, sweet. Okay, so she brought her own sunscreen, so we're gonna use. She'll use that. So I'm gonna mimic it at the end. She didn't give it to me, so just know I'll be mimicking that. So with her, she obviously has a really good routine. So with that, she uses salicylic acid. Is it the Aveda one?
I use it sometimes, yeah.
Okay, so
I go between that one or another one, but they're very similar.
they're very gentle. Okay. Again, you don't want to do an exfoliation facial if she's like over exfoliating, but she's not. She's doing a very gentle salicylic acid, so that's fine. I do notice that she does have some creping, so she is a little dehydrated. So creping kind of looks like little lines in a desert.
There was a lot of wine last night.
A lot of wine last night, she tells me. So I'm going to tell her to drink lots of water. But also that having some type of like our hydrating treatment lotion would be really good for her, right? Because it's going to help trap in that moisture, holds 1,000 times its weight in water, and it's very, very just hydrating. So that would be something I would add in to her routine. And do you do any like you do the Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads, right? I just know this about
That,
it.
yeah, that and now I've got the Ordinary, so I do that one too.
So once a week?
Yeah.
Twice a week? Once a week?
Once a week.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so again, she has a pretty good routine. So I think what I would just add in is telling her to drink some water, telling her to try doing more of those warm foods and beverages to help internally with her Vata nature. And like I said, I'm going to be just really careful around the mouth area for the refiner. I'm actually going to probably just, add some oil to it. And you guys will be learning about the products after I'm done more so. All right, so we've done our skin analysis. Again, you would have had your instructor at that point. Then you go grab your products. And then what we're going to do is we're going to our dry brush exfoliation. So remember our dry brushes, right? You don't have to do this. I just, out of habit, always do that and rub them together. I don't know why. So you're going to be learning this all today. So I'm going to start at the right side and I'm just doing upward circles. And I'm not pushing crazy hard, you guys. I'm just doing a nice, gentle exfoliation, working my way up. Getting that chin. And then this is pretty much like your cleansing manipulations. I just like to get a little bit on that lip, and then get the upper cheeks to the temples, and then gentle, because again, you don't want to surprise someone, and I know she's a little bit more in that area, a little bit more sensitive. I'm just getting her hair out of the way right now. And that is our dry brush exfoliation. And now I'm going to go into our refiner. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So you always do mechanical before chemical exfoliation. So I'm not going to take all of my refiner. I'm just going to take a good amount of it, but leave probably like a quarter of it in there. And then sorry you guys, the light. I'm going to just pat it into my hands. And then this is a 60-minute facial, so I'm just doing neck up, okay? So I'm just going to start patting it on. And then I'm going to do what's known as a buffing method. So it's just pretty much hand over hand. Remember though, I'm going to be super gentle around here. If she was sensitive, well obviously I wouldn't do it, but like if she was just slightly sensitive, I would just add a little oil to soften this up like I'm going to do in that area. So over the neck, I'm just going to do hand over hand. And once you kind of see them get a little pink, you can go ahead and kind of stop that area. But you'll see when you start practicing with the actual products that it just kind of thins out. So I would do that whole neck area, and then I'm going to work my way up. And just because I'm going to add a little oil in that area, I'm just going to work around first. The top part of her nose was okay, so I'm just going to kind of do a little scrub there, but I'm about to get in there a little bit more anyway. She doesn't have the biggest forehead, so I'm using just my SC fingers pretty much. And then just my fingers over here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of oil to my fingers and just gently scrub in that area. If she was like pretty intense, obviously I would have done a sensitive facial. If she had more in that area, I would have done a sensitive facial.
And guys, I do turn red really easily.
Yeah.
So like redness is not something to get like scared about if they aren't coming in initially red.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you can always check in. If it's getting very inflamed, yes, but like bringing that blood to the skin isn't an issue.
No, yeah, exactly. That pinkness and stuff, we actually like want to get some people to that. Not everyone gets pink, But that's fine. But yeah, if you start seeing it become like darker, like you've done too much. Something's going on. Alright, so normally then at this point I would grab the rest of my refiner, and then in their areas of concern, I would just do what's known as our gommaging, which usually it's around the mouth, around the nose area. But because she's sensitive, I kind of just did it with that oil. But I'm going to go ahead and take this on her kind of forehead area and her 11th area to do just a little bit more. And I'm going to hold the skin hot and kind of just scrub in there a bit. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Checking in, you know. So you can see I'm holding it taut, spreading that skin a bit, and kind of just getting in to the area.
So is this how we like exfoliate, like with like Aveda? Like, is this how we would do it, or like?
Well, this is one of the ways.
And we'll just... Okay.
This is one of the ways, yeah.
Because in sensitive facial, do y'all remember what we're using to exfoliate in that?
What's the sensitive facial exfoliant? Anyone?
Isn't it like a bamboo?
No, with the sensitive, it's the liquid, the BK liquid exfoliant. Remember, it has the salicylic acid in it? This is the one with the bamboo. So you wouldn't want to do this on someone who is sensitive. Alright, so I've gone ahead and done that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some oil, because it's kind of hard to take off. You're going to realize once you start doing this, it's a little hard to take off. So I'm just going to oil her up in the areas that I haven't done already. And if she has a little bit of product buildup, which she does kind of around that hairline, which is typical, I'm just going to do little circles just to help break it up a little bit more. Alright, now I'm going to grab a towel to remove. Remember to get it to a nice, comfortable space. And dip my finger into that aroma infused oil. Check the temperature on my forearm. Does that feel okay? Not too warm? Okay. Cover. This one's got some tint on it. So because we've done some good exfoliation, I don't have to like do too much like massage, but I'm just going to do a little bit. Sometimes you're probably going to have to use 2 towels to get this off. Just an FYI. Because yeah, it's a fun one to try to get off. I'm going to do, you'll see I'm kind of a little bit different than I usually am to try to remove this. I'm going to be nice and gentle under that eye area. Nice and gentle around her nose, since she has the distilled capillaries there. Alright, make sure I open it, because this, you guys, this stuff will go everywhere. So don't, even though I haven't done her décolleté, I still put it down there just to help get that neck area. So because I know I'm going to use another towel, I'm not worried about getting every single thing off. And kind of in between, I like to rinse my hands off again, just so I'm not reapplying the refiner on my hands onto her. So I'll get another towel. And this doesn't really have to sit on too long, because you're just getting the excess off. Same thing, I'm going to dip my finger in to help with that aroma. Good. I just like to do a couple of presses and then remove. Now, because she just had a few blackheads, this is actually going to be a really good facial because that refiner is actually going to be able to get in there to get a good amount of those. If she was mainly focused on blackheads and extractions, I wouldn't do this one. I would do our acne facial. Even if they don't have like bad acne or something, I'm going to do it to be able to do extractions. So now I'm just getting any excess off. You're probably going to see a couple little particles. They're not going to feel it. Don't freak out. All right. So now we're going to do our liquid exfoliant, the BK liquid exfoliant. So we have these little, they're like nail tabs actually to help get nail polish and stuff off, but they're like little exfoliation tabs that you can lift this piece up. I'm going to use these, so before I put it on, I'm going to put this in water, right, so that it equally absorbs the botanical liquid exfoliant all over. Sorry, I should look at both cameras. So I'm going to dip this in. If you don't have these, you can just use your mask brush and just apply it, just like the sensitive facial. So I put it in some water and I'm going to dip it into the BK liquid exfoliant. Kind of get any excess so it's not dripping. And then starting from the neck up, I'm just going to do like little circles. And then if you want, you can do kind of your manipulations that you usually do, just the circles and paws at the outside. Get that little lip area, that nose. And circles up top. Just make sure you're getting it. So this is giving a light exfoliation, mechanical exfoliation, plus a light chemical exfoliation. So again, we start with mechanical and work our way to biochemical, okay? So this is kind of like a mix between the two. All right, so I've done that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this back on, and I'm gonna do recovery serum. I like about 3 to 4 pumps. So her neck is nice and red, and her forehead, because that's kind of where I focused. So this is just gonna help calm her down. And then we're going to press that in. So the next part is going to be our dry brush lymphatic drainage. So I'm going to make sure that she's nice and dry for it, right? Because the whole point is being dry. Alright, so I've got my dry brushes. We all do this a little bit differently, so you'll see that I do it slightly different than the video, but I'll try to do the video as much as possible. So you start in the middle of the décolleté and you kind of just inch your way to the axilla and work your way up and out to the axilla. Work your way out. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start in the middle of the neck and inching again, kind of in an inch increment, and then just kind of pushing up and then all the way down. Once you get to that last one, we're going to turn these over, and then here's your clavicle hollow area. So I'm not on the other side of the clavicle, I'm in the inner part. Gently, I'm not doing too much pressure. It's just about helping the lymph. You don't really need a lot of pressure. I'm just going to point 1, 2, 3 pumps. Then working my way out and up. Same thing on that last one. Turn it over. 1, 2, 3. And just get all of the neck. Turn it over. 1, 2, 3. Getting the whole chin, jaw, mandible area, working your way down. I like to go all the way back to the axilla. I like to flip it over and pump 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to get the chin area. It's just about working your way from in to out. And then I call this the goatee area. So I kind of angle my brushes so I'm not getting their whole like lip, and I just kind of get that goatee. And then I'm going to come down the nose. And you can see I'm only doing this once. I don't have to do it several times, working my way out and then coming up to the forehead, to the temples. My very last one at the top of the hairline, I'm going to follow all the way down. Follow the side, so here's some lymphs, right? So we're just helping push that lymph down to the axilla, flip over, pump 1, 2, 3. So there's that lymphatic drainage. And now we're on to our steamer with our intensive hydrating mask. So I always start this and point this away from them first when I start it, just in case, because here's a few things that can happen. If you fill this up too high, past the line that it has, it can literally shoot out hot water and burn you. So you want to be careful, and I'm actually going to fix her. If their hair starts falling, just go ahead and fix it. Tuck it back in. Okay, so, is that okay? Okay. So then it feels good, we're good. Remember, don't get too close, you're gonna burn yourself. Then I'm gonna come about here. How does that feel? Can you breathe okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Always ask if they can breathe fine. If they feel like it's too much, you can just scoot it back a little bit. Still good? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. All right, so now we're going into our intensive hydrating mask. You're going to actually apply this with your hands. So I'm just going to get it all in my hands. I'm going to let her know this is going to be a little cold. Which I actually want a little coolness with her because she is a little red, just to help kind of calm it down. But if you wanted to warm this up, you could put this in the towel patty just a little before you use it to warm it up, okay? So I'm just going to warm it up in my hands a little. Alright, so this is going to be a little cold. So I'm just going to apply the product. Don't forget to get around that nose and lip area. And we're going to massage this for 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and sit for this. And her neck is, like I said, it's kind of red, so I don't want to do too much invigorating. But I want to get in there a little bit. So you saw for me what I did earlier was I asked her what product she was using once I got her for the skin analysis. I'm forgetting that with COVID, we probably shouldn't, right? We should do it when they're masks on. So definitely, do it during the consultation. It's just an old habit for me that I always did it when I started looking at their skin. But you saw that she had to put her mask back on to talk to me, so. Alright, so I'm just doing a nice massage, getting in there a little bit for her, on her cheek area. We're going to do this for 5 minutes. Do some lip scissors. So I'm just kind of doing my pointer and my middle finger surrounding her lips, coming to the temples. Give the temples some love. Around the eyes. You can even do a little bit of pressure point. Because she's worried about her 11s, which look fine by the way. I'm just going to give it a little love. So I'm just going to do kind of like a finger over finger, and then I like to kind of spread it the opposite way to really help push that product in. Because remember, Wrinkles and stuff could look deeper because of the dry skin kind of like pushing in there and like making them look a lot worse than they really are. Now I'm going to do this like kind of zigzag move. If someone had Botox or something, I'm going to be very gentle up here, right? Unless they're about to like get new Botox. So just make sure you like ask them. Like usually I can tell she doesn't get it because she really just has like that little bit of dehydration. I don't know. You can just tell once you've been doing it for a long time. Have you ever had Botox ever? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she has never done it. All right. So I'm just going to kind of start back down. Now you guys, it's important to massage the neck area because this will start pulling your skin down, right? And then that's what's going to cause this to start sagging. So it's still really important to massage this and your scalp. Honestly, like if she was really like had issues here, I would make sure I would see if I can get a little scalp massage in. Because the scalp, right, if it loosens, it starts to push down. So then it's going to cause these wrinkles to get bad. Eventually you can get to a point where you can do this little slapping facelift. I'll show you guys that again eventually. Now I'm just going to follow along her mandible area right here. And I'm like really grabbing it, right? Like I'm like right underneath it. I like to give a little love here at that lymph node. If you have migraines and stuff, this is also like a spot that some people can have issues with. So it's good to massage. Even do some. I'll show you guys more massage techniques later. So right now I'm kind of doing more like facelift kind of stuff a little bit. Alright, so before, I like to actually keep this on while I'm getting my hot towel so that they can keep that heat. So I'm going to grab my hot towel for removal. Ooh, this is hot. Again, shake it out of the way. Get a little bit of that aroma infused oil. Check it again. So first I like to put this on, do a few little compressions, and then I'll remove the steam. Because if I would have done it earlier, it would have been a little drastic. She would have been cold and then warm again. So it's nice little easy transitions. If they were a little bit more sensitive, you could do the 4x4s at this point to remove the product. A little steam up the nose.
Yeah.
I saw a little droplet.
Yeah.
The steam got her nose a little moist. All right, and now we're going to do our skin balancing, that massage portion. Remember, this part is also about energy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on kind of like helping to like get some of her energy out. just because she had all that tension here in the neck area. So again, just make sure you mix that aroma with that light composition oil, and you don't need a lot. Remember, you don't need a lot, because otherwise you're going to spend all of your time trying to get her to absorb this oil. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, so small circle to big circle. Work my way over. I need a little bit more, so I'm going to go ahead and dip again. 1, 2, 3. Same thing. She is definitely a little dry, dehydrated. And then work up. This is when I like to move my hand. Get the center of the neck, that throat chakra, up to the chin area. Come up the nose a little bit. Yeah, she's like holding on to this. Some people you can kind of just do like one for a few spots, but her skin's like, nope, nope, I want it all. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so again, now I'm going to come back here to the shoulder. I'm going to get some more warm water because it's kind of cooled down a bit. Again, just try to make it not super loud, right? Like don't have it on full blast into at least this sink. This sink is really loud. So coming over here, I just dip my hand in that water, come around, and start effleuraging. Remember, you're not moving from this area until it's completely absorbed, so if you need a little bit more water, you'll just re-dip. You guys are going to realize that this part is amazing. You're going to see this beautiful, healthy glow once you're done with just this little bit. Coming up that neck. A little bit more water. I feel so bad because I'm breathing so much louder than I usually do in this mask. So one of my friends who's a massage therapist, I love him to death, but man, he breathes really loud and without masks. But he's really good, so. So I'm going to work my way up. And because she's calmed down a little bit on her neck, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make sure to put a little bit more recovery on. Remember, you can do recovery serum on whenever you need. If there's not, you can never do too much of recovery serum. But it's definitely gotten better. But yeah, she stays red for a while. Again, dip your hand in. So it's not that I'm feeling that she's getting dry, right, to get more water. It's just I can just feel that there's still a good amount of oil. So that water is just going to help push that into the skin. You can even do a little finger over finger around the nose.
Hey Kelly,
Mm-hmm.
do you have music playing in the back?
No, they don't have any music going today. Plus, I don't want it too loud so you guys can actually hear me. What's that?
Do they normally have?
They do, yeah. Okay, so now I've gotten that in, so now we're going on to our correction mask. So we're going to use our tourmaline charged radiance mask. You're going to let them know that this could tingle a little bit because tourmaline is a very energizing mineral. But that's normal. But if it ever gets uncomfortable, I usually say on a scale from 1 to 10, let me know if it gets to like a 4 or 5 for this, and I'll take it off. So this is our beautiful Radiance mask. This for mixed with our intensive hydrating mask is the best thing. It's called our cloud mask. Amazing. You'll learn that with another facial. So I've got my mask brush. I'm going to dip it in the water just to get right so it evenly disperses on the brush. Make sure to get all of the water off. And then I'm just going to kind of mix the product. Let her know this is going to be a little cold, okay? Right, Susie, this is going to be a little cold. Just remember when you do leave the face to kind of come back gently. Nothing too crazy. So you want this to still feel very nice and like a massage, right? That's why personally I like to do it like this, but there's just so many, you know, you can do it the other way too, of just one side and then the other side. As long as you're just not doing small strokes, you're good. Make sure to get around that nose, you guys. A lot of people don't pay enough attention. And use all your product. We measure it for a reason. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and cover her eyes with a couple of the cotton rounds that are pre-moistened. Well, I'm going to, pre-moisten them now in the warm water. Alright, I'm going to cover your eyes. And now I'm going to cover her face with the pre-moistened 4x4s. Hey Jen, are you there? You there?
I am here.
My iPad died. I think I'm good after this, but can you just get your protocol? Alright, so I'm just going to cover. My iPad died for my protocol.
Oh, okay.
So can you just grab yours out and let me know if I'm doing everything right after this?
Okay.
It's a 7-minute ritual for this, right?
Correct. I
Alright.
actually have my, 7 minutes for the massage.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have both protocols out, the little cheat sheet, and then I have the big one
Perfect.
that tells you the minutes.
Thank you. Yeah, I ended up putting the minutes in mine just to not have to do that. So I'm going to do that little butterfly, get that lip area. Alright, so she's nice and covered. And remember, because she mentioned her neck and shoulders, so that's the ritual we're going to do. I'm going to come in, get the oil everywhere. Even though I'm just applying the oil, I'm still doing nice movements, right? Alright, Susan, take a deep breath in. I'm just going to do a little push on each exhale and in. And one more time. And So I already know that Susan likes more of a firm pressure, but of course you would want to ask that. What kind of pressure do you like? Do you like light, medium, or firm? And let me know if it's ever too much or not enough. I'm going to do just little finger rolls. Get at the occipital. And don't worry if their hair wrap starts to fall, the head wrap, at this point. You've already covered them, the mask is on. It's not going to like move. You can reapply it once you're done taking it off. Which side was it again? This side, left side, right? Yeah. So now I'm just doing kind of like little back and forth motions. I'm realizing the other camera can't really see what I'm doing. At least not with my thumbs. But oh well. A little back and forth. I need to change that. Alright, I'm gonna take this towel. There we go. Alright. So just getting in there. She's got some good little knots in there. Do some little circles. With this, you don't want to do it on anyone who likes light pressure because this is more intense. But someone who likes more of a medium to firm, it's going to be really good. And I'm just kind of go down her back a little bit. Come up. I'm going to do a little stretch too. Is that okay? Okay. I just really need to make sure, since she's having issues over here, that I'm not doing anything that's going to hurt her, right? So now I'm just kind of slowly feeling the muscles. Obviously you can't do any like deep tissue or anything, but you can just do some nice firm pressure, just kind of like working your way up. So I'm just going to I'm coming like up like this. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's just
that's what I saw her jolt a little. So I'm going to make sure that she's doing okay. So that's a nice little spot that she has there. So I'm just going to do a little pressure point. And I'm going to, because I'm a massage therapist, kind of grab the muscle. But you guys are not allowed to, yeah, she's nice and tight. So always just remember that you want to effleurage before and after, because you want to get the blood flow going there, and then also relax it afterwards and get that blood flow there, because otherwise you can bruise someone and make them feel way worse afterwards. So because she mentioned that this was her side, I'm going to spend most of my focus on this area. But of course, give the other area a little love too. But I just want to make sure that she gets a little bit of relief, hopefully, with the short period of time that I have to do this part. So again, the towel's already come off, so I'm just going to go ahead and get it all the way open. Do a little stretch.
Callie, are you still there?
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, mine was glitching really bad. I had to pull my network back up. I just want to make sure that you
Oh,
can hear.
okay, good. I was like, no, did I lose you all?
I got scared because I didn't see anything for a good minute. I'm like, what is happening again?
Oh. So again, this is what I was doing kind of on the other side, just to give a little bit more love. Oh, that's right, I forgot you have that nice little bump back there. Is it a cyst?
Yeah.
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 So she's
It
got a little
comes-
cyst right here. So I'm not gonna mess with it, right? Alright. Just gonna kind of get onto the scapula and kind of come up. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just going to the scapula, like right on the out part, and I'm just kind of lifting my SU fingers a little bit so her body weight is doing the work. And I'm just following the scapula. And relax. You always want to end as you began. And there we go. Alright, so now I'm going to remove the mask. So again, I like to start kind of where I ended and use the 4x4s. If I had the face mask, right, the gauze, I wouldn't be using that to take it off because it's a little too rough, right? I'm just going to kind of use that. But don't freak out about getting all of it because you can still use a towel. It's just about making your jobs easier, right? As easy as possible. So I kind of just lift up. These are kind of thin. They're not as wet as usual. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and get a towel to remove. So I'm going to be using about 6 towels. If I was doing a hand and arm, then I would need at least 1 or 2 more, right? Or foot, same thing. So this is my 5th towel. And then I have 1 for her back. So Jen, after this is just toning, concentrate, and protect, right? Yeah. Okay. See, I rely on my protocol too much. Just remember to use a clean spot. Usually around the nose area. And then behind the ear is somewhere where a lot of people will forget to get all the product. So just always watch that. So that's why I always go behind the ear at this point. And then I'm going to open this up to a clean spot, hold it, and just kind of grab anything else that I see. Always being gentle coming back in. Alright, so now we're going to tone. So I've got my hydrating treatment lotion and my pre-moistened sponges, and I've wrung out some excess just so it's not dripping. Starting at the middle of that décolleté, working our way out. And just an FYI, I think I forgot to do this before skin analysis. So make sure you note that to do this before skin analysis, it's not a huge deal, but you should always make sure to do that. And then kind of feather off. kind of helping again push towards that lymph. And then I'm gonna grab so remember we have our calm, bright, and firm concentrates. This one typically just calls for firm, but because she's dealing with hyperpigmentation and she's a little red, I'm actually gonna use all three. So just know that you would do it calm first, then bright, then firm. You always do thinnest to thickest liquid. So I'm gonna do that calm, 2 to 3 pumps. Remember not to steal the product for yourself. I'm just going to pat it on, just to get it everywhere. And then lightly effleurage. Yeah, she is just sucking up product. It's better than earlier, but her skin does not want to let go of it. And this is the bright concentrate, so now I'm just mainly focused on that area, and then I'll just bring the rest down. Just like with the calm, I was mainly focused on the neck area, so that's why that was where I put most of it. And then my firm concentrate. And then I'm going to do my eye cream. So I'm going to do energizing eye cream. So I'm grabbing it from the tube, so I'm not going to touch my finger, right? I'm just going to kind of let it drip down onto my finger, and all you need is about a pea size, or pearl, whatever you want to think of. So I come back and I establish my contact. I like to do both at the same time, working around that orbital bone. And then go ahead and get it on in there. Remember, being nice and light under here. I'm going to put a little pressure here. And then I always end with about 3 little pushes out towards that lymph. And then we're going to do soft cream today. And she has her own SPF, remember? So I'm not going to do that one. I'm just going to get the excess off my hands and then try to push it in a little bit more. Because remember, you don't want them feeling like sticky, like there's too much product on them. So I just wanted to get the excess off so I can really help push it in. So then I would do the SPF. Now I'm going to do the lip balm. So I open it up by using the towel because my hands are too slippery. Then I'm just going to take out a chunk with my lip wand. Close the lid right away. And then I'm just going to use the back of my hand just to make sure it's not chunky. So it's easily applied. Coming in, establishing contact. Go ahead and rub your lips together. How's that feel? Perfect. Alright, so now I'm going to wake her up. So I'm going to use my cooling oil. Put it on my wrist. Alright, Susan, take 3 deep breaths in. Normally I would do a stretch, right? But for the arms, but now I'm just gonna, with the COVID, I'm just gonna do a stretch on the shoulders. Alright, so then I'm gonna come around. Alright, Susan, I'm gonna remove this bolster from under your knees. Remove the bolster first, right? Because with people who have like little back issues, or anything like that, it's a little too much when you help sit them up. And Susan, go ahead and take your arm out. And then grab my hand and I'm going to help you sit up. Yep, there we go. Then I'm going to ask her, right, are you okay with me putting the cooling oil on your back?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So I'm going to get my cooling oil. Remember, don't just drip it on their back. Close that cap. Again, nice, gentle contact back in. Because she was dealing with her neck, I'm just going to bring it up her neck a little bit. I'm going to put a hot towel on your back. Same thing, make sure it's not too hot. With the back, it could take a little bit more, but still. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right on her back. Again, because for neck issues, I'm just going to put it up her neck a little bit. Give her a little massage. And then remove any excess. Alright, Susan, we are all done. I'm going to step out. You can go ahead and, so normally here they would change back in the locker room, but sometimes you would have them change in here, so I'm just going to tell her she can go ahead and change it in here, and then I would be right back.